In 1935, there was a biologist going down the river in southeast Indonesia, and he was supposed to get back to his base camp before night fell because that's when all the predators come out, and he didn't make it back in time. So he's going down this river in the nighttime, looking up these trees, waiting for predators to jump out at him, and he looked up at one of the trees, the mangrove trees lining the river, and got struck by lightning. And then, as lightning never does, he was struck twice. And then in this reality-bending moment, just imagine this. You're on this river, and then suddenly every single tree for 100 yards down the river on one side got struck by lightning at the exact same time. Once his faculties recovered, he realized they weren't getting struck by lightning. It turns out that they were covered with billions of bioluminescent lightning bugs that for some reason were lighting up at the exact same time. So I live in Dallas now, and when the fireflies are out, they light up individually. So you chase them with your kids, they light up, and then you lose it, and you follow another one that's lighting up in these seemingly random moments, because that's how they evolved. That's how they thought they'd be most successful. So this biologist went back to the US, wrote up this scientific paper called The Miracle in the Mangroves, the case of the synchronous lightning bugs in southeast Indonesia, and no one believed him. Because biologists said the whole point of being a lightning bug is to light up in the dark. Why in the world would you light up when other people are lighting up? Because it decreases your chances of reproduction that night. Because the whole point of lighting up is to increase your chances of reproduction. So, and mathematicians said this is impossible. For order to come out of chaos, someone has to lead it. So who's the lightning bug going, now, right? There is none of that happening. So it's biologically, mathematically, scientifically impossible. 8 decades later, we know exactly why it was possible. 2 researchers at MIT found that if lightning bugs light up individually, which most of them do worldwide, their success rate in reproduction per night is 3%, which is still pretty high. But it turns out that if the lightning bugs figure out how to time their pulses to the millisecond with the other bugs around them, as they do in southeast Indonesia and one portion of the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, it turns out the success rate for those individuals goes from 3% to 82% per bug. Right? It's not like one bug's doing really well in the system, right? The success rate of the entire group was orders of magnitude higher than we thought it was possible. 3% we thought was the cap for how good you're doing as a firefly. But that's because they were lighting up individually. As soon as they timed up their pulses, which we didn't know that they even should do that, it turns out that their success rate went from 3% to 82%. As I've studied individuals, coaches, companies, and schools around the world, what we've been finding is the exact same pattern. When we stop trying to light up individually, hyper-competing with one another, and doing hyper-comparison on social media, which is why we've seen the rates of depression for every single age group double over the past decade, in the midst of high antidepressant use. Where we're finding anxiety rates are at the highest level we've ever seen in schools. Suicide rates for every age group, including 8-year-olds, has doubled. We've done something wrong in our pursuit of happiness. We all know people, and we've been people like that. And I think the reason for it is we've been pursuing happiness by ourselves. Instead of realizing that if you really want to see how bright you can shine, you actually have to get the other people around you to start to shine as well. To find a way in the darkness of not shining bright alone, but shining bright together.